Thomas Latham for IFL TV in association with Macklin's Gym Marbella, London Scenic Centre for the public weigh-in. With me I've got Johnny Nelson. How are you doing, Johnny?
I'm good. It's nice to be back in here in Glasgow again. The last time I was here, it was the Mayweather dinner. Nice crowd, good setup, good laugh. I like Glasgow, I do like being here. So I'm going to go out with my friend Ian Wilson from Lonsdale later on tonight. So he's going to show me the sights again.
Good stuff. Sounds like a night out. We better keep it away. So, what can we expect tomorrow night from Ricky?
Ricky Burns has to perform on top form Saturday night. The reason being is just because the ROCCO is on a roll. If you look at records, Ricky I think has only won 3 of his last 7 fights. The ROCCO has lost 1 fight, and that was against Giuseppe Lowry. He avenged that loss, knocking Giuseppe Lowry out in 1 round 5 years later. So really everybody on his record he's beaten. The ROCCO again at the weigh-in doesn't look that big, but you know when it comes to fight night, he'll look massive. He's established himself as the gateway European level, because this is his first crack at boxing for the world title. But he's #1 with the WBA. Ricky Burns is #7 with the WBA. So this is all for Ricky Burns to do. Now this is the fight that Ricky can win, but he has to use smarts. Don't get involved in the tear. We've seen him, he's got a good heart, he's got a fighting heart, he's a grafter, and he thinks if he gets involved in the toe-to-toe, he's got to try and fight his way out. We've seen when that's happened, sometimes he ends up on the losing end of it. I personally think we've seen the best of Ricky Burns, but I do think what Ricky Burns has left is good enough to still be the WBA champion and create history here in Glasgow. So I think for Ricky Burns, this is a fight he can surely win. It's going to be a roller coaster weekend for British boxing, as in Ricky Burns boxing the ROCCO here in Glasgow, and then Tony Bellew's boxing the Makuba in Goodson Park in Liverpool. It's going to be a roller coaster of emotions. It could be one of those weekends where we know what, we collect another 2 British world champions. So it's going to be a time one as well. But if you're a fight fan, what a time to be involved in British boxing.
Absolutely. Just with the undercard on Saturday night as well, we could Willie Lemon facing Tyrone Nurse. That's the hallmarks have been a classic. What do you think of that fight?
I do, and then you know what, Tyrone Nurse is not a banger, but Tyrone Nurse is a slick ass boxer, and if he boxes, we've seen him hit, we've seen him hurt, we've seen him get put down, and the thing is, this is going to be a fiery fight, so Tyrone Nurse needs to depend on his boxing skills to pull the win, because if he doesn't, and he gets involved in the tear-up, he gives himself a hard night. He's boxing the whole fight, so therefore he's got to perform. He's got to put it on the line. But again, I would side with Tyrone Nurse to pull that one off, because I do think he's an unbelievable technician.
Willie Lemon's been out of the ring. Well, he was out of the ring for a couple of years. I remember seeing Willie Lemon back in Scott Harrison's undercards coming through against Alex Arthur. What is it that motivates Willie Lemon to this stage of his career? Because
we're all fighters, we all think we still got it. We all, in our head, we're the best fighters in the world. In our head, we see fighters out there and you think, I can beat him. It's our body's reacting to it. So when we get a little bit older, your body's not as sharp, he's not as on point, he's not as reactive as your mind thinks. So you know what can be done. Willie Lemon has the mental experience to do the job, and maybe back in Willie's day, he'd have walked through Tyrone Nurse and given him hellfire. He has something left, Willie, but I don't think Willie has enough left. And that's what's most important. And so that's a case of how far do you want to go, how much do you want to put into this game. Yeah, we've seen Willie Lemon at a great level. I know Willie's probably got his eye on Ricky Burns, thinking if Ricky wins and I win, we could get something on here. You know, in the dream world that could happen, but realistically, I think he's got a harder fight here with Tyrone Nurse to start with.
Just touching back on Ricky Burns, do you think the weight might be an issue? He's making the weight quite easily and he's flirted with it the last couple of years. Do you think being a fully fledged 140 pounder might be a difference in fight night?
Yeah, and that's why I said to ROCCO when he gets in the ring, he'll look massive, and he's big at the weight. You know, Ricky's got a little bit of height and reach on him, but you watch the size of ROCCO's back in his arms and chest when he gets in there, because now he'll put the fluid back into his system and start eating and feel comfortable again. He's been here since Wednesday. I know he struggles to make the weight. I think one time he weighed in, he started crying once he made the weight because he was so relieved. So it's hard for him to make the weight. So for him, how he replenishes himself is most important for energy, the back stretch of a fight. But for Ricky, he has to use his energy, he has to use his smarts, he has to use his speed, his boxing skill, and that'll make all the difference.
Last thing, big weekend of boxing. I need a couple of predictions. Who's going to do it? Ricky Burns,
I think Ricky Burns does it. He puts it on point, tight points victory. But you know what? I also think Tony Bellew wins on points as well. I think we collect 2 world champions this weekend. And Tony Bellew, on paper, the whispers are, and this is what I don't like about people. They'll tell you, you know, he's got a good fight, but a good job on. They'll not tell you to your face to think he'll win or lose. I think Tony Bellew will win. I think Tony Bellew is up against it. He's in against a fully fledged cruiserweight. 19 fights, 18 wins. He's knocked him out all out. This guy can punch. This guy can fight. This guy's a fully fledged cruiserweight. But Tony Bellew is an underrated technician. He can box and he can bang. But I think Tony, if he boxes him and sticks in boxing, Tony Bellew can come out and eventually become world champion at cruiserweight. And I think he'll be a great addition to the cruiserweight world champion history here in the UK. And I rate him. I do rate his boxing ability. Light heavyweight, you know what? It wasn't his way. And now you look at him, Tony, now you think, wow, how did he do light heavyweight? Tony's taller than me. So you can understand why at top level he just fell short. Cruiserweight, I think this is it.
It's just came out in the news, Lucien Beauty's failed a drugs test. What is your thoughts on that? It seems to be every other week now that we're hearing your report.
Lucien Beauty failed a drug test, you know what, and the thing is, what's the excuse? And listen, there's fighters that have failed drug tests before and they come out with various excuses. I know 1 or 2 of them that have done that, and so to get down to Lucien Beauty and you think, wow, you know, and we've got to know the history behind what's happened. We've got to know what he's taking, how it benefits him. It is sad for our sport, but if there's a punishment, make him have the punishment, make him do the time. If he's done the time, then move on. But for Beauty, I was surprised. I do think he's at the back end of his career anyway. So therefore, if he gets like a 2-year ban, he's done. You know, he can't come back in 2 years because I think he's at the back end of his career as it is. So it's a case of they've got to deal a heavy hand. That's what they do. If you fail a drug test, you get a ban. And that's it. You get exposed, you get a ban. You've got to deal with the criticism, you've got to deal with the shame, you've got to deal with the pressure of the public. Everybody has an opinion when it comes to that. I've boxed 2-3 drug cheats before in the past and I beat them. So taking drugs doesn't make you a better fighter. So let's not fool ourselves into thinking that. Taking drugs may give you confidence to think you're a better fighter, but it doesn't make you a winner. Taking drugs just might give you that bit more energy, it might give you that bit more strength, but it doesn't make you technically a genius when it comes to getting in the ring. So taking drugs, what's it do? It might give you a bit of a physical edge, but that's it. It doesn't make you a better fighter.
Johnny, thanks very much for joining us. Have a good night in Glasgow.
Nice, I will do.
Thanks very much, cheers.